Everybody's inside the building now. You're playing. As soon as there was a lot of hugging.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please grab a seat for us? We're going to get started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Pride, commitment, and caring, we are Freeman. My name is Randy Russell. I'm proud to serve as your superintendent here in the Freeman School District. And would you please rise and join me in the pledge First of all, I'd like to thank you for being here tonight, for all the students and all of our staff and parents and the community members that are here. We'll be giving you an update on the situation that we've been dealing with for the last day and a half, and then we'll ask the media to please leave so that the Freeman family can spend some time together, because we need that. We've asked the media not to interview any students, any of the staff members, any of the parents, any of the community members, and I appreciate their willingness to abide by my request to not interview, to respect your privacy and to respect our privacy as a family. I'd like to have our students please stand. Our students in Freeman know that we do love you. We love every single student that's here. And we love your families. And we are so thankful for the students here and your families. Yesterday morning, the unspeakable tragedy occurred here at high school. I speak for the entire Freeman family in sending sincere thoughts and prayers to the family of our student lost today and to the injured students. Would you please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you. I cannot thank the Freeman School District staff and the students and the parents enough for how they responded to an extremely difficult situation. And I would please ask that our staff please stand also to be recognized. We are so lucky to have the families that we do in Freeman. And if you had been here to watch your students, your child, cooperate with the staff, you'd have been proud. You'd have been proud. And I can tell you, I'm proud. I'm proud of our students and I'm proud of our staff. They did a phenomenal job. And the parents have been super supportive and very patient. And the prayers and the well wishes and all of the thoughts that everybody has sent to our community has been absolutely overwhelming. The cooperation, your courage, your support from everybody not just helped us get through that day, it helped us get through today. And you know what? It's going to help us get through tomorrow. And it's going to help us get through this weekend. And it's going to help us get through Monday when we have all the students back here at Freeman. Because that's what we do in Freeman. That's all we know, is to work together to take care of what's best for the kids. The students know it, the staff knows it, and the parents know it. Additionally, I'd like to thank all the law enforcement support that we got, all of the first responders who were here immediately, who not only supported the kids and our staff, but were just unbelievable in terms of how they handled things. I mean, it was just exceptional. We received a tremendous outpouring of support from our local school districts, not just in the region, but across the state and nationally. We've had a lot of different agencies that have provided tremendous support for us, and they'll continue to provide support for us. They basically told us, whatever you need, we're here for you. Whatever you need, we're here for you. That doesn't happen, folks, that often very much. And we have certainly felt that. We appreciate that. There was a group that flew over from across the state, the Marysville-Pilchuck team, led by their superintendent, Dr. Becky Bird. And you may have read about it a few years ago that unfortunately at Marysville-Pilchuck, they also had a shooting incident at their school. And it cost the lives of students in their school district. As soon as the incident happened in Freeman, their superintendent, their team, got on a plane, they flew over here, they met with us first thing this morning. They've been holding our hand, literally, all the way through every single step of the way. Helping us, mentoring us, coaching us, telling us what to expect, showing the way so that we can do it to make sure that our kids can come back here on Monday and get the support and the help that we all need. We're all hurting. It hurts. Let's not kid ourselves, it hurts. It cuts right down to the core. You don't expect it to happen. You don't expect it to happen here. And you certainly don't expect it to happen to your students and folks it happens. And we've got to figure out how to take the pieces of the puzzle and put them back together. And you know we can do it, and we're going to do it. I'm really, really grateful to serve here as your superintendent. And to be in a community that cares this much, that you would come out tonight and that you would show this kind of support for the Freeman family. However, with that, it's going to be a tough road ahead. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to go away overnight. It's going to be hard for the students and the staff to be back here overnight. We're going to ask for your patience, but we're going to also ask for your help. You've got to be looking out for each other. You've got to be keeping an eye on each other. Parents, if you see that your children are struggling, you've got to let us know. We can help and provide services. We have like 100 counselors here tonight. They're going to help us walk through some things tonight. Students, if you see another student who's struggling, you got to do something. You got to go up to that student. You got to put your arms around them. You got to tell them it's going to be okay. But you're going to be there to help them. If you see a younger student, you got to do the same for them. I was able to go to St. Heart Hospital today and visit our 3 young ladies, and I'm happy to report that they are doing pretty darn well considering the circumstances. They're lucky to be alive. And I will tell you that they're alive because of their classmates and the staff at Freeman High School and the EMTs that were here to help us. We can't sugarcoat it out. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And our students and staff prevented that from happening. I don't want to single out individuals, but I do want to tell you that the folks that were up on the second floor of the high school, and those of you that were students that were there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But that group of folks rose to a level that is unbelievable. It was like superhuman strength, what they did. And I'm just impressed. I've been impressed with this group of students and staff over the last 7 years, and been very thankful to be here every day, and appreciative. And it was a hard thing to come into school today. And your staff, students, were here to figure out how to make it work when you come back. When I met with students and their families today at the hospital, I have to tell you that it was the most uplifting thing that's happened to me in the last several day and a half. To see Jordan with a smile on her face, see Gracie, as only Gracie can do, with a smile on her face, see Emma, they were doing her hair, brushing her hair. You know, a guy like myself walks into a hospital room, sees a young high school student with long blonde hair like that, I get jealous. But they're doing great, their spirits are awesome. And I would like to read a statement that the family sent me and ask me to please read to you. We wish to express our overwhelming gratitude for the outpouring of support and love you have shown our families in our time of need. Everyone, our friends, Freeman School District, the first responders, the trauma team, care providers at Providence Sacred Heart Medical Center, and Children's Hospital, the communities of Freeman, Rockford, Hangman, Micah, Valley Forge, Mount Hope, as well as Spokane, have all been phenomenal. No words can express our gratitude. In this, our darkest hour, we feel blessed and lucky in so many ways. Our daughters are recovering from their wounds, and we know that your thoughts and prayers are with us. Our hearts are breaking for another family in our community who lost their son. We are keeping Sam's family in our thoughts and prayers. Finally, we ask the media and the public to respect our family's privacy. Please give us time, give us space, let us heal and recover from this tragedy. Thank you for the compassion and love you've shown us. This morning I met with the Freeman staff. We had a chance to come together, share our thoughts, be there to support each other. And as you can understand and imagine, that was a pretty emotional morning meeting for everybody. But I'm really proud of our staff. I love them. I love our staff. I trust them with your kids, and I trust them with my kids. They're amazing every day. I was just once again blown away how awesome they are. And I also know that as difficult as it is for the staff to go through it, I know that they will be here for our students when you come back. We've made the decision to reopen school on Monday. We have to start thinking about moving forward. We're still working on all the details for Monday, so we'll get those out to you. We'll continue to give you updates of what's happening. We're working very closely with the Sheriff's Department. You're going to hear from a member of the Sheriff's Department here in a few minutes, and other law enforcement agencies. We've openly provided any and all information that they've requested in order to proceed with their investigation. And they're probably still going to need a little bit of help. So I'm sure they're going to be reaching out to students or staff over on the second floor that if you had anything that you could be thinking would be helpful for the Sheriff's Department, we're lucky to have. We're lucky to have Deputy Ron Nye, who is here. You guys know Ron Nye loves you guys. as transparent as we can with our parents and community, because that's the only thing we know to do. You may know that the district is bound by federal privacy laws when students are under the age of 18. That helps protect students, protects their information. Therefore, we can't get into the specifics of what happened. We can say, in general, that if the district receives any other information that we feel that may be a danger to a student, to anybody here, we have a protocol. We follow that protocol to the T. We make sure that when we're in that situation, the first thing we do is we reach out to our parents. You're one of our greatest allies, one of our greatest advocates. Once a student is going through a situation like that, then we have to go through a referral process and have the student undergo a mental health evaluation, just to establish that the student's not a threat to himself or others before that student can return. We don't have any mental health professionals here at Freeman, so we've got to rely on the expertise of folks out in the field. Again, we can't answer any of the specifics, but you absolutely know that it's our highest priority to keep your kids safe. And I appreciate so many of you texting and calling and emailing and checking in on us to let you know you were thinking about us, you were praying for us, and that you appreciated the fact that you know that Freeman is a safe place for your kids. As we continue to grieve and work through this process, we hope that the media will respect the privacy of the victims, their family, friends, Freeman community, and we'll move on and try our best to heal. As I mentioned to the media with regards to tonight's meeting, once we're wrapping up here in a few minutes, I've asked again the media to please leave so that we can spend some time together. We're going to kind of outline what that's going to look like, but we're going to have some different stations set up so that parents can stay in here. All the high school students, you can stay with your parents if you'd like, or you can go across the hallway into the little gym. If you're an elementary or a middle school student, you can also stay here with your parents, or you can go over to the multi-purpose room and be in there. We have professionals and counselors, and we have staff there, and we're going to walk our students through some things to help prepare you to come back. Because this is your home. This is our home. You don't want to be anywhere else but at your home, and this is your home. So with that, I'm just going to close by saying again, thank you. Thank you to everybody. I appreciate your bravery. I appreciate the cooperation. I appreciate your support for our kids and the staff in the district. And we've had a saying that we say, all means all, and at Freeman, all means all. Everybody counts. Freeman. So I appreciate being here tonight. And with that, I'm going to ask some representatives from law enforcement to come up and share a couple of thoughts to review an update of information.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having us here this evening. This is not the way I wanted to meet all of you. It was a rough day yesterday, and I think all of us, our lives are changed forever. And that doesn't just mean you. It's the same for law enforcement. We see a lot of stuff in our business, but we shouldn't have to see this stuff. And when we do, it hits home, just like it does with you. My name is Steve Jones. I'm a lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office. Standing next to me is Sergeant Jack Rosenthal. And he's in charge of our major crimes unit and is in charge of the investigation that began yesterday at about 10 o'clock in the morning. What I'd like to do is just very briefly, it's going to be a very brief description of the timeline as it occurred yesterday, to the best of my knowledge, with the information that I have. At about 10:09, we received the first call that somebody had heard some shots fired in the school. Very shortly after that, within a minute or two, there was also a report from the school that said they believed that a teacher had the gun. I'm guessing that at that point it was over because it happened that quickly, and Joe was probably there on scene. This was a situation that could have been much worse. Most of you have heard, and I think it's been in the press, that the first initial firearm, the rifle, malfunctioned, and the suspect then, the student, picked up a handgun and used that to carry out the carnage that took place yesterday. When he was finished, he threw the gun down, and immediately Joe was there, ordered this person down, and held on to him until Deputy Nye arrived. If you don't know, Deputy Nye was in one of the other buildings taking care of a situation down there. When he heard the call, he immediately, along with Randy, with the superintendent, ran up to the high school, and he ran into the fray, which is just what Ron does, it's what we do. He got up there and helped Joe, took over until other law enforcement arrived. Other law enforcement was coming from everywhere you can imagine. There were probably, we were just talking about it, hundreds of law enforcement personnel that eventually arrived on scene, along with the fire department. I don't know if they're here, but the emergency medical personnel that are in the back, thank you, who did such a great job of taking care of your kids. To give you an idea, I think I mentioned 10:09 is when shots were heard. Medics were asked to start staging at 10:11, within 2 minutes. It's unheard of. They were on scene. Nora 85, who was Deputy Nye, was there 1 minute after that. The suspect was detained by 10:13. Again, incredible response. You've been given the update on the injured students. What I want to do with the students that are here tonight is help you to understand how important it is that the way you reacted and the way you dealt with this yesterday is why those 3 students are in the condition they are tonight. That they're safe, they're alive, they're going to be back with you soon, and it's because of the way you acted along with the staff here at Freeman. It's amazing. We were talking about it earlier, we talked about it all day yesterday. Your cooperation with us, with law enforcement, with Sergeant Rosenthal and all the other members of law enforcement and the emergency response people that arrived to take care of your kids and to take care of this scene has been phenomenal. I also want to say that I can't say enough how incredible it has been to work with Randy. We're on a first name basis now. Sorry. And with Jim, incredible. And with Harry, fantastic. All the other staff that are in here that I've had the opportunity to run into and at least speak with for a minute or two, the counselors that are here have been amazing. The support is like no other place I've ever been before. It's amazing. I also want to thank the parents. These things can go south in a hurry with our effectiveness and what we can do to protect the scene and to protect kids and to keep people safe if we don't have the cooperation of parents. We know that what you want to do is get here, get to your kids, and make sure they're safe. Who doesn't? I guarantee all 3 of us would. Anybody here is in that same mode when they hear that their kids are in danger and in harm's way. The parents showed amazing restraint. control and cooperation with all of us. Yesterday at the pickup, there were some long lines. They had to stand there for an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, waiting to see their son or daughter. I didn't hear one complaint, not one. I was standing over at I was at the middle school. Not one complaint from anybody. Incredible patience and cooperation. I just thought about this, but you probably saw the 2 other deputies that are helping out tonight, just kind of standing out there making sure that everything's safe and that all is good. One of those deputies is Deputy Sky Ortiz, and the other one is Deputy Wally Laus. They were both here yesterday. Feel free to thank them tonight. And then last, before I turn it over to Sergeant Rosenthal, to talk a little bit more about the investigation. And this is probably not a real popular thing to do, but I want to thank the press. You have cooperated tremendous with us in the last 2 days, in this situation, in this event. No, it's not easy. I know you want to get in and get your pictures. We appreciate your cooperation. It's made our job easier. Thank you. I would also like to introduce Captain John Knowles. He's the captain. He's got a new rank now. Inspector John Knowles. He's in charge of our investigative division. John, just stand. Now I would like to turn it over to Sergeant Rosenthal.
Well, last time I talked to all of the students except for the freshmen and all the staff was last year, so most of you know me, and I think everybody here knows my daughter, Kayla. So I'm sad to be back in these circumstances, but at the same time I'm family, so it's kind of appropriate. My job for those parents and the newer children at the school and everybody else here, my job is to manage and to resolve critical incidents, and that's what I've been doing for 15 years with the Sheriff's Office. I've done everything from being an assistant commander of the SWAT team to now running the major crimes unit for the agency. And I can tell you that in all of my tasks that I've done over those years, running all those incidents, I have never seen what I saw yesterday. And what I saw yesterday was amazing resolve, amazing dedication, amazing drive, and the will to not accept defeat. And that is all summarized in one word: Freeman. And that... That is huge, because in what my unit does is we investigate homicide. We investigate violent crimes against persons. This is my business. The first 48 hours of any of these events is the critical timeline. If it's not solved, or if you don't have at least a great grasp on who did it, why they did it, and where they did it in that time frame, the probability of resolution diminishes every hour. 10 hours. 10 hours from the moment I got the call to the moment we had every piece of information and evidence that we needed to bring this to the greatest and possible resolution we could give. 10 hours. That's only done because of you. Because of your community, because of your staff, because of your students, and because of your ability to pull it together in these incidents. I can't talk about a lot of the specifics. You have to understand that this is a very new and very active investigation. But what I want to tell you is, in that time frame, we were able to execute multiple search warrants on and off campus to gather everything that we need. And My unit basically hasn't slept since yesterday. We've worked fundamentally through the night, early in the morning, all day long, and they're still at the office going now. So I want to promise you that we will bring you the resolution that you need and deserve, and you will get it. So we've got almost 100 people interviewed. We've got witnesses everywhere. We're reaching out to the schools. We're reaching out to the community for more information. We have all the forensic evidence that we need. Just today, we were flying a drone over your school and through your school to gather even more evidence in the event that we need it. We have everything that we need. And again, the praise does not go to my unit. The praise does not go to the sheriff's office. The praise is yours. We would not be able to do this without you, the staff, and your ability to pull it together and be strong. So my hat's off to you. Everybody knows how to get a hold of me. My phone number is probably still in the books here. I am a family member at the school in this community. You'll see me all over the place. If there's anything I can do for you, if there's any question I can answer for you, if I can, I will answer it. But know this, we are here for you, and we are you as well. We are the family. Go for you.
Thank you, gentlemen. And we're going to have an expert come up and talk to us a little bit just from the mental health support side. And so if we could have Brittany come up.
I'm a little shorter than Dr. Russell there, so my apologies. I first want to just acknowledge the trauma that you as a community, as parents, educators, and students have experienced in the last 48 hours, unparalleled. And my hat is off to you as a parent, as an educator, and as a former student. The way that you all behaved in this crisis situation truly has been inspiring, and I am just so grateful to have made many acquaintances in the Freeman family. My name is Brittany Campbell. I work for Northeast Washington Educational Service District 101, and we are proud and honored to serve the human bodies through this crisis. I want you to know that you have a rally of support around you. In case you haven't noticed, there has been an outpouring of different agencies who have wanted to come and show their support for you, your school, your students, your staff, parents, and families. One thing I know about trauma is that it makes people really scared of what happens next, how do we handle this situation. Something that we talk about in education is protective factors and how you can support each other to get through this. The most important protective factor for any young person is a caring, competent, and consistent adult, and I have seen nothing but that from the Freeman community. So please do know that you are the protective factor for your kids. You are here for them, day in and day out, and now more than ever. That being said, we do have support here for you. We want you to know that it is here for you to access. So, I want to give a mention to those agencies that have rallied their support for you. Our agency has a crisis response team that has been on site. We have also had an outpouring of neighboring districts wanting to show their help. We have Spokane Public Schools, we have Central Valley, West Valley, Meade, all who have offered their staff people to come here and assist any way that they can. We also have the Empire Health Foundation, who has been on the phone nonstop, getting donations, food, water, tissues, anything that you didn't know you need, but you need in this crisis, they have been here to get. So, they have an entire list of providers that they have on hand and available for you to be referred to. Sometimes it can take weeks to get into a mental health therapist. We will get you in tomorrow, today, whenever you need it. So we want you to know that those services are available. We have been on campus here all day for students and staff and families. We will continue to be on campus tomorrow. I want to let you know those hours and what you can expect. So, tomorrow at 9 a.m., you may come to the elementary school office foyer area, and there will be some folks there that can point you in the right direction as far as which age you would want to go and work in, whether you want individual or group therapy, or whether you just want somebody to talk to. They can point you in the right direction. Okay, so 9 a.m. tomorrow, elementary school. That will run here at the campus until 3 p.m. We will also have an off-site location at Valley Forge Community Church from 12 to 8. On site here at school, there will be therapy dogs available for an amount of time in the morning and in the afternoon, if that is something that would appeal to you. We want you to know that while you are a strong and competent community, you have support. And one thing I know about the natural helpers that you are, natural helpers don't often ask for help. And we need you to help us help you. So if you know somebody that you are worried about, if you have a friend, a coworker, a family member that you just like somebody to check in with, please let somebody know. So there are folks with counseling support badges all around. There are Frontier Behavioral Health individuals all around with their blue shirts on, so they can be easily identified as somebody that is a safe person to talk to. We will continue to be here for you as much as you need it. We'll be here Monday and throughout. We're not going to leave your side through this process. Know that you do have a community of support around you, and we're here for you. Thank you.
So I mentioned earlier that we have a team that came over from the west side of the state to help support us, and I'd like to bring up Sherry, if you don't mind, please. And she's going to kind of walk us through a little bit of the reassurance, encouragement, kind of the looking forward piece that will help us. So come on up.
I come to you with a long history of responding to these events in communities. I'm sorry there's a reason for me to even be here today, because what I know is that when these catastrophic events happen, it shatters our hearts, and it seems like everything just comes to a stop. But what I want you to know is that there are many schools that have already made this journey that we now have begun. And although everything feels like it grinds to a halt in that moment of shock, people picked up the ball immediately and began making the difference. Those are people in your community. You do have support from many places, but folks in your community mobilized immediately, not just about what was happening in the scene, but you can think of it like this. Freeman the Freeman community is like a tapestry. And it has whatever your colors are, and whatever your sports are, and whoever your families are, and the industries that support your parents and so on. All of those things make up this rich tapestry of your community. And when this happened, it was like a major dash went through that tapestry. But what happens now is people come forward and they bring ribbons and strings and threads, and you begin to bind bind up those wounds, and you'll always have a scar, but it won't always be an open wound the way it feels like it is today. You've faced adversity before, and one of the things we know about adversity is that nobody gets through it alone. The way we get through it is together, and that's how you're going to do this as well. So while you might have wondered right at first, how do we begin to pick up the pieces? The piece we recognize is that it's the strength of that tapestry, that each of you will have days when you feel strong and you need support from others, and then on other days, you'll be the one that's really grateful that someone else reached out to you. So it's that tapestry, it's the weaving that makes you strong. The other thing I want to talk about, especially with parents and adults, is that recovery from this is a little bit like a teeter-totter. You know, things that we say and things that we do can either make it better or worse, but none of us sits on a full cup. So I want us to be really mindful of our language and our attitudes. Conjecture and blame don't have a place in pulling our community together so it can be the strongest it can be for our students, for our youth. So what we need to do is recognize that every single thing we say and do either makes it better or worse, but doing nothing doesn't mean you're on the fulcrum. We need you to all be doing something that helps us move us towards getting better. The kids need all of us, and the thing that gives me the greatest hope is that, you know, the school has done a ton, and you've acknowledged that tonight, and you've seen it. You've seen it in spades. But you know, the school can't do community recovery by itself. And your kids can't recover just when they're at school. So I am so heartened to see how many parents we have that showed up for this time. I have such great faith that you will have bright days and joy in your lives in the future. So this is that moment when what we have to know is that recovery will be longer than any of us would want. But you've made major steps already, and that it's just one step at a time. It'll be a roller coaster, and there are stages that we'll talk about in terms of how you go through this process. But what you all know is that we had all the support show up for you tonight. There were well over 100 people when we did the first orientation for the counselors and support people who were here to be with your children tonight and to help us through the week next week. Well over 100 just that showed up tonight, and we have warm wings that are ready for that support next week. So I think that's the piece, is just recognizing that recovery will just be one step at a time, and that all the pieces that you need are in place, that all the people that you need to provide that outside support are ready to do that, and that the entire country is holding you in a very special place in their hearts tonight. What I want to do is just take a moment, and we can do this together, about what we want to talk about is what the rest of the evening will be like, but just briefly in a moment, not quite yet, what we're going to do is ask the to take their equipment out, and then we have spaces set aside for the elementaries, the middles, and the highs, and what we'd like to do is have a really orderly process for letting the kids go. So do you want to say any more? Can we just ask at this point the meeting would? Okay?
So we'll allow the media to go ahead and kind of make their way out. And as we're doing that, I would also ask that our students, our high school students, many of you are here tonight. Again, you have an option. You can either stay here with your parents, or if you're comfortable and you feel okay with it, we'd like to invite you over to the gym, the small gym, so that you can go over there and spend some time with each other.
So could we have a wait until the meeting's gone? Have everything sit tight till the
Okay, so as we get set up, we're going to have all of our high school students. I'm going to leave first, please, but I know Sherry wants some folks to be able to be in the gym for them. Anybody that's in the overflow gym, we'd like to invite you back in to the main gym. So let's do that first for our high school students. For the parents that are sitting, we'd like to invite you please down to the front. If you want your children